Home Depot co-founder Bernie Marcus sat down with the Financial Times and basically called modern American workers lazy, fat, and stupid. Lovely guy, real lovely. Now, he says this in the context of the interview, quote, "I'm worried about capitalism." Same, but unfortunately, we're worried about capitalism from different points of view. For Marcus, he says, thanks to socialism, nobody works. Nobody gives a damn. Just give it to me, send me money. I don't wanna work, I'm too lazy, I'm too fat, I'm too stupid, he says, of the current workforce here in the United States. Now, it is interesting that he blames it on socialism, which doesn't really exist here in the United States. In fact, our system, which enables corporate greed, is just as robust as ever. So I'm unclear as to what he's referring to when he mentions socialism. But Cenk, maybe you can enlighten us on that.
Yeah, man, these Home Depot people associated with starting Home Depot, questionable dudes, man.
He's a bad dude. He ran around with a bunch of bad boys.
Yeah, and a lot of them are, not all of them, but a lot of them are mega Republicans. He's one of them. This guy's the bizarro Bernie. He hates the workers. They've made an insane amount of money. I believe that they're worth $321 billion. That's the market valuation of Home Depot. What on God's green earth are you crying about? Oh, are the workers now demanding to have some rights? It's not like it costs you anything, brother. You've got billions stacked on top of billions, stacked on top of billions.
He's like 93 years old. You're 93. Yeah. You know what I'd be worrying about at 93? Nothing. I'd be thinking about what can I do to maximize the last few years of my life? Let's just keep it real. Like really, you don't even work at Home Depot, bro. Like what are you doing? Step aside, move it along.
At 93, I'd be worried about one thing, cardiac arrest.
Well, yes, I'd be worried about when it's gonna be my time, for sure. But that worry would make me, reconsider whether, insulting people who aren't working hard enough at Home Depot makes sense. Like, maybe there's other things I should spend my mental energy on. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, but I wanna give you some more of his comments because he says, quote, "Capitalism is the basis of Home Depot and millions of people have earned this success and had success. I'm talking manufacturers, vendors, and distributors and people that work for us who have been able to enrich themselves by the journey of Home Depot. That's the success." And I wanted to look into that a little further. How do the workers at Home Depot really feel? I'm sure he's thinking about executives, both at Home Depot and the manufacturing companies that they do business with. But if you actually look at how workers feel at Home Depot, it's just fascinating stuff. So there's a comparison on Indeed between Costco employees and Home Depot employees. Let's go to the second, there we go. So salary satisfaction. 83% of workers at Costco wholesale are satisfied with what they're getting paid. Only 47% say the same at Home Depot. What about CEO approval? Well, 88% of workers over at Costco are happy with the CEO. 78% say they're happy with Home Depot's CEO. Seems like there might be some issues over at Home Depot in terms of their management style, pay, stuff like that.
Yeah, so I think perspectives is so critical here and is never really discussed. So Anna, you nailed it. Bernie Marcus is looking at this from the perspective of executives and other company owners, et cetera. And he's not wrong about that. He made tons of money. Other executives at Home Depot and at other companies made tons of money from Home Depot. That is true, and that's one of the upsides of capitalism. But when he says millions, wait a minute, there are millions of executives. There are millions of employees. But those are the guys you just crapped on. Mm-hmm. So you're saying Home Depot's success should be about rewarding executives and shareholders and property owners and the upper class. But we should not share that success with millions over the course of all these decades of employees at all of those companies. They're the bums, they're lazy, they're fat. I don't want to pay them. I don't want them to have the rights that they should have. So then who does capitalism work for? In a sense, Bernie Marcus is right. It works for him. It works for everyone he knows. That's why he's like, I don't get it, man. Capitalism is awesome. Everyone I know thinks it's awesome. But it doesn't work for the great majority of us. And now the thing is, it can, and that's why that Costco example is such an important one. Costco pays its workers much more. It never insults them like this. It gives them much better working conditions, and that's why you're seeing the satisfaction that you are out of the Costco employees, and by the way, customers. And they've also not increased prices during inflation. It's another story that we did. This is not a rando ad for Costco. We're just telling you about two really interesting examples of how capitalism can and does work if you take it from the perspective of everyone, as Costco does, right, including the workers and the customers, or if you look at it from how most right-wingers look at it, the Home Depot owners, and you only look at the owner class, then you think, yeah, this is a great system. The only problem is the bum workers and 90% of Americans.
So when it comes to Costco, its success and its treatment of workers, I just want to be clear about something, because what that requires is executives who are willing to go against the way the system is set up, right? Because look, I try to think of people, especially in the business world, not as good or bad, but just individuals who are motivated by incentives or disincentives. In the way that our system is structured, the shareholders have all the power. So the fact that executives at Costco during their earnings call told agents from Citibank that no, we're not gonna pass off inflationary costs to our customers. We think that's a bad idea. We're not gonna do this to maximize profits for the shareholders. We're gonna go ahead and keep doing what we're doing because it's a model that's worked for us. That takes principle. That takes a strong person or a strong group of people, and it goes against all of the incentives that executives have in today's system, really. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to maybe change the fiduciary responsibility so it actually looks out for the workers as opposed to the shareholders. I feel like it's impossible to ever see a system like that. But that's what we need, right?
No, it's definitely not impossible. It's actually very possible, and other countries haven't, and that's why they're they perform so much better in almost every ranking than America. The Northern European countries that are considered more socialist, like Finland, Norway, Belgium, etc., including the most important factor, the happiness factor. Their citizens are way, way happier because they have a government that represents them. And part of the way that they do that is they write different laws around how corporations work, that their only goal is not to just maximize profit. Of course, they have to have profit, otherwise they'd be out of business, but that they have other responsibilities to stakeholders like employees and their community and their customers. So it's definitely possible. We're just choosing not to do it. And then finally, there is one thing here. Look, I've heard from small business owners too, and not just the like nearly bizarro evil Bernie from Home Depot, that workers are demanding more these days, and that's true. And it's partly a supply and demand issue. And now that we're near at full employment, I mean, it's ironic what Bernie Marcus is saying, because he's saying they're too lazy when we're at record employment. Almost everyone is employed. That would be the opposite of being lazy. But what he's actually referring to, and that I have heard from different business owners, are, hey, workers are demanding more and more, and we're not used to this.
Well,
to which I would say, exactly, to which I would say, get used to it. It's okay. They're supposed to have higher wages. They're supposed to have better working conditions. And especially if you're at Home Depot, where you're making gigantic profits, that shouldn't bother you 1%. That means you're just sharing a tiny bit more of your record profits with your employees. That's exactly how it's supposed to be.
And you get what you give. You want respect. You want your workers to respect you. You want your workers to actually appreciate the company and take pride in it. You got to show them respect. If they feel disrespected, they're not gonna respect you. That's the way it works.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.